AFC North, um, Cincinnati Bengals, right, guys? Cincinnati Bengals, Baltimore Ravens, Cleveland Browns, and then Pittsburgh Steelers. Alex, who do you got for the AFC North?
I guess for fun, I'm gonna go on a limb here and say I like the Cleveland Browns to win the division. I think this division is very similar to the AFC East, to where it's going to be very competitive. I think the Browns, Ravens, and Bengals are all pretty close to each other, and then I think I have the Steelers a little bit lower just because I don't know how much I trust Pickett and their offensive line. But the other three, I think the Browns got better than they were last year. I mean, they had a quarterback that was 35th in the league. And if Deshaun can even sniff top 15 again, and if he can get back to like top eight, that offense is scary. I mean, best offensive line in football, best running back. You add Elijah Moore, you add Goodwin to that team. Like that, Njoku is taking a step up. They got Zadarius Smith and someone else. Laurent, no, I forget. Some defensive lineman, whatever. But
Mhm.
I just think they have a really good roster and they can be competitive. And then also the Ravens, like last year, we did a video on it. They made the playoffs with Huntley. Now you bring in Lamar, you bring him a couple more weapons, and like I just feel that whole division got better. And so I don't see it as like the Bengals are easily going to take this again. I think
Mhm.
it's going to be all those teams. I mean, if you put any of those teams in any other division, they're they're like taking over. Like all those teams to me can be top 15, right? So top of the half of the league.
All right, Brosick, what do you got?
Yeah, I think when you talk about teams that have always been good and then have gotten better with coaches kind of like Vrabel, who no matter what kind of hands they're given, they still make a push. And I think the Baltimore Ravens, they went solidified all their drama with Lamar Jackson. He's here to play. They go sign Odell, who if he can come back from this injury is going to be that star power I think that they need. Rashad Bateman, we're still looking to see what we get from him. But of course, this team runs through the ground with J.K. Dobbins still trying to come back and make a name for himself. And then Mark Andrews, on top of Isaiah Likely, who's behind him, looked like a stud whenever he was down out with an injury. And whenever this offense primarily goes through its tight ends to have, two, three locked and loaded, ready to go. Offensive line has always been great. And the defense, I worry a little bit about the defensive line because to get after Deshaun Watson, who's mobile, to get after Joe Burrow, who's sneakily mobile. You got to be able to provide that pressure. But I'm hoping that this secondary with Marlon Humphrey, Rock Sin, Hamilton from Notre Dame, who they got a couple years ago, and then they go grab Roquan Smith, who stud linebacker. They still have Patrick Queen, and they go get Miles, one of your favorite guys, Trenton Simpson, out of Clemson. So I think that this team has just gotten a whole lot better. They've always been sniffing in the playoffs with whether it's Lamar with a
Mahomes.
backup quarterback.
Yeah.
So I think they have just as much of a chance as anyone else to go in there and make a run for it.
What do you got, Hack?
Yeah, I agree with everything Brosick said. I have the Ravens as well. Um, Picking up Zay Flowers as well to help in that receiving group. And Mark Andrews had a very off year last year for most of the season with injuries as well. And like Brosick said, when he was out, Isaiah Likely stepped in and performed very well. And he mentioned it, Roquan Smith. This is going to be his first full season with the team. And so I think there is a lot to build on from the second half of the season last year coming into his first full season. And Patrick Queen had his best season of his career last year. And so I think there's just a lot of talent to continue to build on and consistency in like as a unit to build on that they had last year. Love the Bengals. Obviously, I think they should be the favorite, but I just at some point things just have to change. I think for the Ravens to kind of break through, and I think this might be the year to do it.
Okay, so I like the Ravens talk. I agree. The only thing with the Ravens, and it is what it is.
Did
Huge
you come prepared
coincidence.
to wear that shirt?
I came prepared. I came prepared. This is the thing. The Ravens are probably given their game plan, their players, their fit, and how they go about things, they are probably the best team in the AFC North. You know, just how they do things, and if they do it to the best of their ability, how successful it is. Offensively, that is, with running the ball and being able to, Lamar able to see Mark Andrews and get the ball to players in space. The problem with the Ravens, though, is that if one thing goes wrong, it all crumbles. If Rashad Bateman goes out, or sorry, not Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews is out, it all crumble. If an offensive lineman gets hurt, it just crumbles. So everything kind of has to be perfect for the Ravens to continuously like be that guy. And then another thing is, not saying he's not going to be different, but Lamar has been playing a certain way so he can get this contract. I would wonder where his head's going to be, because if he's saying he wants to be a passer, as a longtime Bengals fan, I am more than happy for him to be a passer. I am very happy for him to stop running if that's what he's saying he's trying to do. And then you just draft another undersized receiver that he's not a very accurate guy to smaller guys. So, and you shipped off Hollywood to get Hollywood. So I'm not, I like the Odell, but I'm just super interested. Of course, I'm riding with the Bengals. Sorry. I'll say it now. Picking up Orlando Brown Jr., I guess, is something people keep forgetting about. Like a legitimate 26-year-old all-pro every year top tackle. Like, what have we been waiting? Like, we've been waiting for a left tackle of legitimate caliber, and so we got it. I think the only thing to really say is T. Higgins, Joe Burrow, 4th year playing together. This is the 6th year that Joe and Jamar are playing together. The continuity is there. The offensive scheme is there. We have finally a backup receiver in Charlie Jones, who I think is going to be that dude. The only thing I guess would be, defensively, maybe we take a step back. We don't have Jesse Bates or Von Bell. Maybe, but I do like Dax Hill and Nick Scott, so it's not a big deal. Oh my gosh. And last year I was bullish. I said last year we go 5-1. We started off so crazy bad. But I mean,
who did you lose to start the season?
The Cowboys
Pittsburgh
was one of the teams in this.
Okay.
Steelers, yeah.
I was just curious.
And then we made it to our conference divisional game.
Okay.
Just
can't relate, yeah.
Can't relate. But yeah, I mean, it's if our offensive line, right, guys? So I'm gonna ask you this: if we had a decent offensive line 2 years ago in the Super Bowl, do the Bengals win it? I would hopefully we say yes. Last year we had 3 of our starting 5 offensive linemen out.
Yeah, that's true.
Like we were there with the Chiefs in that late game, that late push when it was a clear holding. How do you feel about
Joseph Asaya?
A lot different than I did after that game. I feel a lot different, but he's in good spirits. We picked up Myles Murphy, like one of the more athletic, the craziest athletic guys in the draft. So excited about that. I think it's us to lose it, right? If we start out with some dumb game plan like we did last year with not being able to figure things out quickly, not understanding that we're still the hunted. The Steelers drafted really well. And so, yeah, it's a tough division, and people really want to beat us in the AFC. Like we do not get along. And I didn't think it would be like that, but it's like that because we talk so much shit.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely you didn't expect that with.
Yeah, so I mean, I get it. Like our team, where they're young and they're about it. So we do talk a lot of trash, and so I'm cool. Now we're the target.